Hi, how are you, Bella?
Good. How are you doing?
I am great. First of all, I wanted to ask you about, how do we see Ellie now that she's surrounded with some people their own age, like she's in environment where, like in a town. I mean, she's more established. How are we gonna see her now?
Yeah, Ellie's in a community for the first time.
Right.
She's, I think, doesn't, she jokes about like not really liking that. I think she's never had to be in a community before. She's never let herself even make connections with anyone her own age or anybody like close to her really because of the fear of like losing them one day. And obviously that was something that came up with Joel in season one and obviously with Riley in season one. And so I think there's a general fear of like being in a community and making these connections with people because she knows that she's going to lose these people one day. That's the fear that's in her mind. So I think that being part of a community is something she's like learning how to do. And yeah, she's kind of learning how to be 19 with other like 19, 20-year olds.
Yeah, and I really like that she's kind of like the smartest adult in the room on one hand, and on the other, she's like really, she can be super terrified. And how did you manage to work on those things and make her so likable?
Yeah. Well, thanks. I'm glad that you like her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that obviously like she's 19 now, but is still 14 in lots of ways. It's been like this 5-year growth, but she's still got the terrified child in her, as kind of we all have, I think. I mean, there's so many layers to her.
Yeah.
Again, as there are to like every human being, and I think that it's really nice that we get to like explore all of those and see her in different scenarios and in different relationships and see how like different elements of her come to the surface and some get more dormant and some get more active. So that's really kind of interesting to play and hopefully interesting to watch.
And what do you think? How do you think that this new season will still surprise people that think that they already know everything about the story?
Well, there are elements of the game, even with the first game in season one, like a couple of characters that were just like mentioned in season one, and obviously had the whole episode, like the Bill and Frank episode. There's sort of similar things happen in this season where characters that are just sort of mentioned in the game maybe get a little bit more of a story, which is exciting. That you'll have to
Yeah,
wait and see.
I love it. I love this answer. And I was going to ask you about your relationship with, pressure and spoilers, because I know that you have been in both in two shows like Game of Thrones, this one, where, I'm sure there must be like a lot of pressure in that sense. And when you're talking like, okay, I don't need to, I can't say anything that I can't. So I was going to ask you about how much pressure do you have to, not reveal any spoilers, or if you are now like, I can do this like this.
It's, I think I'm so used to it now. I've been signing NDAs since I was this
Yeah.
big. But the I really enjoy the feeling of like knowing what's gonna happen and having all this information like and not being able to tell anyone. Like it's kind of fun. It's kind of
You like
exciting.
the power.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not very good at keeping my own secrets. In fact, I'm terrible at it. So to be able to like keep the show secret is kind of fun and a challenge and something that I enjoy. Even like watching the show with watching the first episode with people and seeing their reactions to things and me watching a specific bit being like, oh, you have no idea how that links to something else in a later episode. It's really fun. I get a kick out of it.
I'm sure. And finally, to wrap up, I don't know what your relationship was with the games before, if you are a gamer or not. I mean, did you by any chance like reconnect in this scenario? Like now I'm just there with, The Last of Us and just I played everything, or not on one sitting or not so much, what it was in that case.
Well, I am not a gamer. I tried. It's not for me. I think I just can't do it. I think that I spend so long. They're so detailed and so rich, the world of the Last of Us games, that I have to like look at every single bit in every single like corner of every single room and every single poster and every single like old CD that's like left around. So it takes me so long to get through probably what should take anyone else like 10 seconds to like walk through a room. It takes me like an hour. So I think that it's sort of an impossible task for me to play the games. Maybe one day though, once it's all done and when I'm like 40 and I really miss The Last of Us, maybe I'll sit down and play it then with my kids.
That's lovely. That's a round circle right there.
Exactly.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Bella, for your time. I
Thank you.
love the first season and I'm loving the second one. So congratulations again.
Thank you.
How are you, Craig?
I'm doing great. How are you, Lucia?
I'm great, thank you. First season was a success. It worked really well. So I wanted to ask you about how you feel. I mean, if you feel less pressure, are you more relaxed? Is it a different kind of pressure now?
It's a different kind of pressure. I mean, I'm not sure I've ever been relaxed in my life. So I guess, hey, there's good news. I don't even notice that I'm not relaxed because that's all I ever have. The first season, the expectations are for a video game adaptation were about as low as they could be, and low expectations are a nice thing. It means you can exceed them. Now there's tremendous expectation, and we also know how many people watch, but in a good way, we also know how much people care. And we know that we care about it as much as they do. And we just simply were not going to put something on TV that we didn't absolutely love. And that's what we've done. And to the extent that we know we've given it our all in the exact same way we gave it our all in season one, I feel as good as I can feel, as someone that never relaxes.
I remember you mentioned in another interview that while you were adapting season one, there were like 160 pages of a document and you were wondering where to start, where to finish. How about adapting season two? What were the challenges there?
Well, it's a much bigger story. So unlike season one, we knew that we weren't going to be able to contain the full story of the source material in just one season. So part of our challenge was to map out everything so that we understood where we would stop for season two and where we would begin again for a subsequent season or subsequent seasons. So it's more planning, but we sort of love it. That's what we like doing. We like breaking these things down and getting into the nitty-gritty and figuring out how we're going to do things differently and move things around. We ask a billion questions and we just don't stop until we feel like we know that we've got it right.
That's perfect. And I want to go back in time just a little bit. I mean, talking about auditions and, well, in this case, Bella Ramsey's auditions. I remember that you mentioned that for you, it was Lady Marmont at the time. And when you saw that audition, you were like, yeah, I mean, this is it. Right. So I wanted to ask you about that casting, process before, back then, and if you were casting Bella for season one and, potentially season two.
When we cast people, we try our best to think about the full person, all of it. And we knew that this would go on. And what we saw in Bella was just this insane maturity. In a way, we almost needed to pull them back a touch in terms of maturity to play a 14-year-old because they were already feeling like a much older soul. It kind of worked out perfectly because Bella was 17 when they joined us for season one. So sort of right in between the character's age and where the character was going to go. So that kind of, those formative years were happening sort of in the same way that they were happening for Ellie. And we felt like, yes, there's not going to be a problem with Bella creating an evolution for Ellie. That was going to be, like everything is, incredibly easy for them. They just are so good at these things.
This is a series where, you have so much pressure, I bet, not to reveal any spoilers. And you have done so many things before, but I always kind of wonder, because I would be so scared of that. Do you feel that pressure? In which way? How do you handle that spoiler things? Or are you like, yes, I'm like sealed, nothing comes through me?
I'm very good at that. Because I'm a showman and I'm like a magician. You never want to give away your secrets. So I don't feel like I'm ever on the edge of spoiling anything. I worry about everybody else. So we talk to everybody else and we're like, guys, remember. But I have to say, everybody's been great. And I think, honestly, it's because they also are so invested in making sure the audience enjoys it and experiences it the way we want them to.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Hi.
Fantastic.
Great. Good to know. Good to hear.
¿Cómo te llamas?
Me llamo Lucía.
Lucía. Mucho gusto.
De Buenos Aires. Un gusto enorme hablar con ustedes. So I saw the first episode of the second season and I really loved it. And I wanted to start by asking you, because we see them right, in the Wyoming settlement, like how they work, how how their relationship works. So I want to start with Rutina. She's like a natural born leader, and she has this, fierceness, and she's very calm at the same time. So what drew you from, her character in particular?
I think that her strength, I think that's what kind of drew me to her. And then where we are now, she's got this softness that you didn't know was there. Because now they have this beautiful child together. So it's like it's seeing that softness and being able to play that softness, I think is going to be great for the viewers, seeing a different side of Maria. She just she did things a certain type of a way, and she was a stickler to them. And I loved a woman. I loved the way her brain works, actually.
And Gabriel, I kind of love that your character, he's so different from your brother. Like, they're like completely, and now we see them in the same space, like for the, first time in a really long time. So what was that like for you as an actor to, work with, and what happens now that they are officially reunited, without spoiling anything?
Yeah, that's the great thing about Tommy, and what I love about him is, and that's why we're such a great complement, a great balance, these characters, Tommy and Marie, because Tommy's a little more freewheeling, he just loves life, loves people, just loves nature, loves to be outside. But he's also a fierce warrior and somebody who's very capable. It is great to have these scenes with the family all together, because our family now consists of Maria and I, our son Benjamin, my brother Joel, and his daughter, essentially Ellie, right? And it's just I love the different dynamics. I think we treat our son a certain way, and Joel and I are an influence on him as this male child that we kind of raise a certain way and are trying to teach certain things. At the same time, the kind of hypocrisy of sheltering Ellie and trying to, hold on to her as she tries to grow and become an adult and utilize her skills of survival. I think Tommy's able to realize how strong a warrior she is, and also kind of give her the room to develop, right? So there's a lot of really new family dynamics that are very exciting to play, and I can't wait for the audience to see how that all unfolds.
And I want to talk a little bit about the video games, because I don't know if it's better for you maybe to like play the game prior, if it was like helpful in a way, or watching any of the scenes. Did you do that, or did you prefer maybe to like, okay, no, just take it with the script and go from there?
I'm definitely not a gamer, so I did not play the game. I also didn't look up anything on the game because I wanted to sort of just develop Maria on my own, based on what they gave me in the script. So I purposely didn't look at a lot of stuff. But now I kind of just want to buy a PlayStation just so I can play the game.
I'm sure Sony can work this out for you.
You must be curious now.
I do. I kind of now, because I'm kind of curious. I kind of want to play. I heard it was a hard game though.
It can be in spots.
Yeah. See, I'm gonna die.
See, yeah, you're gonna die. We all die.
Probably will.
There's a way to play it. Like if you die one time, that's it. You got to start at the beginning again.
Oh,
right?
no. Okay.
But no, I am the opposite. I'm a gamer. Loves to play games.
So you knew the game from before?
I hadn't played until they offered me the role, and then I just played them both back to back, and died a lot. Died a lot. But it was so incredible to see that. I went in trying to research Tommy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then, but almost immediately, I just forgot all of that and was just completely enthralled with what I was participating in, not only watching but participating in. And there's a balance of that. There's a balance of just watching this cinematic story unfold and also immersing yourself and taking part in the survival of this character. And it's just it was, but what the seed of it, the intensity of it all, and the love and the relationships are all there in the source material. But I think either way you approach it, if you approach it like Rutina, Craig has has preserved so much of the essence of the game in black and white, in every letter of every word that he writes. He writes every letter of every word of every script. And well, this year Neil and Hallie helped, so that's good too. But I think either way, you're going to get to the meat of the matter, which is just this really wonderful story.
Yeah.
Yeah, and thank you so much for your time. Hope to see you in
Thank
another.
you. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Gracias.